I was weighed in 42, enlisted in the Army that summer.
Okay.
The 36th Division. I was in the 141st Regiment, and I was in the 3rd Platoon. And I remember I was in on the second wave at Salerno. And we were the first troops to invade Hitler's Europe at Salerno. And we had hard fighting all the way. Salerno, and then there was a Rapido River crossing. We lost 2,000 men. And then at Mount Casino, I remember I was to the left of the casino on the hillside. And at that time, that was the heaviest concentration of bombs dropped on one object at Mount Casino, because it jarred me in my foxhole. Then from there, then on the Anzio, we were there for a month. Then to Velvetria, and then we marched into Rome on June the 5th. Now I remember marching behind General Clark. He was standing out in the Jeep waving to the crowd. They were cheering on. And I remember marching down, taking my men down past the Colosseum. And Rome was declared an open city. We went on to Piombino, about a week beyond Rome, and then we were pulled back, being told that we were going to be the ones that make the invasion of southern France. Now in Italy, I was in the 5th Army, and that was the 3rd, the 36th, and the 45th, and the 34th. And after then after we made the invasion of southern France, that was under General Alexandria Patch, and also was the 3rd, 36th, 45th. And I was in the 7th Army.
Okay.
Then I fought all through France until the Rhine River crossing. And in our sector, we were to capture and take the small town of Hildesheim. And that was the last town in our sector before we crossed the Rhine into Germany. And the 12th Armored had been in there, and they'd lost so many tanks. And my company was designated to lead the attack. My platoon led the attack on Hildesheim.
Okay.
And we were taking a lot of casualties because they moved in to counterattack with their tanks and artillery. And we were fighting with rifles, and at that time I carried a Tommy gun. I made Platoon Sergeant right there at the end before we marched into Rome. At Velvetria, I made Platoon Sergeant. And I remember marching down past the Colosseum. General Clark was standing up in the Jeep waving to the cheering. There were hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets. And I remember, and like I say, then we fought. Rome was an open city, and we fought on for about a week. And I remember the company commander came to me and said, "We're pulling back because they want us were going to be in on the invasion of southern France. And I fought all through France, and yeah. In the Vosges, I was wounded on December the 6th at Lavelle. I was in the Vosges Mountains, and I was hit by shrapnel from a tree burst from an 88. And that 88 was the most feared weapon at that time that the Germans had. So I was back to field hospital for 5 days, and the officers came through. We were taking heavy casualties. And the officer came through and wanted to know if anyone else would be able to go back up on the line. Well, I went back up on, I was in the hospital 5 days for shrapnel in my shoulder. Then I went back up to be with my men, and I tried to look out for my men, and there's only 4 of us left out of my original company, and I keep in touch with them. We call, right, and get together to reunions.